Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. Today I'm doing a Black Series custom video of the Mandalorian Beskar armor. Now, in my other video review of this figure, I've talked about how I feel that this is one of the great representations of the Beskar armored figure that Hasbro has done for the Mandalorian. And one of the things that just irked me a bit was the fact that the paint apps on this isn't the best paint apps available. The silver on this guys aren't really that great of a shine, except on probably the chest armor. And there was a lack of paint available on the actual jetpack, which if you've seen the show and if you've seen the other photos, you will notice that this entire thing almost looks chromish. And they missed the mark on that. You know, the design looks great, but it just missed the mark on the paint app on this particular item. So what I'm going to do today is I am going to do my best to do a repaint on the armor itself to give it a much more shiny metal look to it, just like it was in the actual show. And hopefully it'll make this figure look probably 100 times better just because of that. So sit back, relax, enjoy this video, and let's see how it comes out. Alright guys, this is the end result of the Beskar armor repaint, and I gotta tell you, I'm really happy with the overall results of it. As I know I may not be able to see it on camera, but the shine of this thing is great. The overall look just looks better. Using the chrome on this just made it better and made it more look like metal, in fact. This right here is a prototype cloth cape, so I'm still working on it. So this is for the purpose of this video. I'm just leaving this here just to give you an idea of what it would look like when I'm using this or when I'm displaying this overall. But as you can see, the look of it looks great because of this chrome paint. The reflections of it are better, so you can see a lot more darks right here on the actual helmet, and along the armor you can see how well it reflects everything else. And that's what the overall armor did in the show, is that it reflected its environment, which gave it a lot more better depth, and it just looked good. And the focus here I want to do also is the fact that repainting the jetpack made a better improvement upon the gray plastic that Hasbro originally gave us. And as you can see, because of it, all the details can be seen way better, especially with the light and everything helping it. You can see the depth of it, and it stands out way better overall. And I did ended up going and repainting some of the pieces on the actual suit itself. As you can see, hopefully you can see it here, there is a bit of the brown dry brush on the suit to give it more better depth, because the actual suit does have really good details, but you can't see that, especially when it's like a dark brown plastic. But hopefully that helped out. And then of course painting his detonators on his belt gives it a much better look to it than just the original gray plastic that it was, or gray color that it was. And as you can see here, I also ended up painting the boot area because I wanted to give it better detail and attention to detail on the sculpt and the paints and stuff, because most of it was just the gray plastic, or not the gray plastic, the plastic color of the boots. I wish I did paint the actual shoes, because they're supposed to be a little bit more light brown, and I have a wash on it because of the dirtiness that it has of him walking around and stuff on his adventures. But overall, I think this came out great. And if you look real close, one of the things that I did do is that I added a little bit more of a chrome paint color. So when I did the chrome on this and then I did the gloss coat, a lot of the shine was lost, and unfortunately that's what happens. But you have to seal sometimes the chrome in order to contain it, because it's such a thin paint. But after I did a gloss coat on this, I ended up spraying a little bit of chrome again on top of the gloss coat in order to give a better shine. But you can see here the details on that armor looks more of a speckling black in there, which gives it a much better detail in terms of how the armor really kind of looks in the show, especially on the helmet. That looks really good because obviously you want to get that kind of grayish look on there. And because chrome reflects everything, it kind of makes it look like it's gray because it reflects darks and the lights everywhere. But I think this just overall came out great, and I'm really happy with the results. And again, I wanted to mention that I didn't paint the peg holes here, or the peg holes here and the pegs here, because oftentimes in my experience, when you paint peg holes and pegs, when you try to put them back together, they won't fit right, and it just is a struggle, and therefore you can ruin the paint. So I decided to opt out of that and keep it like that, because oftentimes I'm just gonna have Mando here have his jetpack on all the time as he's going on his adventures, helping out others or searching for any other characters out there that we will hopefully see in the future. But overall, I think this was a good paint job overall. Now I want to do a little quick comparison to other characters, because now with this new Beskar painted armor, I wanted to see how it looks like next to these characters that he meets in the show. And of course, we have here, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the latest episode of The Jedi in the Mandalorian show, we have Baby Grogu, which we now know his name because we were introduced to another character that a fan favorite from the Clone Wars and Rebels. We were introduced to Ahsoka Tano. one of the I would say one of the best characters that we've seen and best introductions that we've seen in the latest show of The Mandalorian, which was also directed by Dave Filoni, which I think to me is one of the best people to lead this new adventures of Star Wars stories in the future. But as you can see, the characters here together look just great. And Mando's armor, like I said, looks a lot better because of the reflection of everything else. And having him face off against Ahsoka Tano in the latest episode of The Jedi from the Mando show just shows you how amazing that this show is doing and how great it's doing for the Star Wars universe. So overall, guys, I want to say thanks a lot for checking this video because this was a really fun project to do. The way that this paints came out was great. And I have to tell you, using these mission model paints is amazing. I love them, and I highly recommend using them. If you are interested in checking out these videos in terms of how to actually paint with chrome and everything, I will try to leave a link in the bottom to their mission models video tutorials. But the overall thing is that you always have to remember that when you're using airbrushing paints, you want to just take the time to do it. Don't rush it. It's always important to take the time because that gives you better results. Patience is everything, as a Jedi would say, patience. And when you're placing the colors on, or at least the black paint on, and you leave it glossy, you want to make sure you give it like a good 24 hours as I did, because that gives it a good base for the chrome to actually adhere to the gloss paint, and you get much better results. Here I did actually have to repaint the actual jetpack to a black gloss because the white gloss didn't give me the results that I wanted. And so that's why I forgot to mention, I should have mentioned that, but that's why the results of this looks the same as the armor. But the overall thing is, this is just a great item to have now for my collection and display because of the shininess of it. And I hope that you guys are able to do it if you want to. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about how I did it or anything like that, let me know. I'll try my best to answer the questions. And overall, I hope that you guys continue to be safe out there. You know, keep close to your family and everything like that, and keep collecting, because let's say that this is just, you know, a great hobby to have, and it's really great to share with everybody these things that I can do, and hopefully inspire everybody else to keep doing other things. All right, guys, well, take care, and may the force be with you.